Hello, it's James from 8.5bit, and welcome to the first episode of what I'm going to call Learning to Play StarCraft 2. Well, what I'm going to do is go through my rise to fame up the bronze ladder, and just kind of go through each of my placements. I'm going to be playing as Protoss, and I'm going to go through each of my placements one by one, just to sort of see what it's like and where I end up at the end. I don't think it's going to be that good. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to approach this from the idea that you guys don't know anything about StarCraft. You probably even know less than me, which isn't really that easy because I don't know that much. So as I go through, I'm going to try and explain, at least as I understand it, how things work. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, so let's have a look at what we have here. So I've just got the replay paused at the moment, and I'll just explain a few things as I understand them. Now keep in mind I could be wrong about these. This is just sort of what I picked up as I've been watching some replays from people like Husky and reading about some build orders when I was trying and failing to learn Zerg. So first thing I'm going to do is, let's kick this off, is I'm going to try and get myself out another pylon so I can up my supply. This is the thing which will stop me from building new units at about supply 8. And now what supply 8 means is basically when this number here in the top right has hit 8. Every time that I build a probe, that number goes up, or any unit, as it matters. So at the moment, it is now about 40 seconds in, and I'm just building my first probe. So he's coming out, and here he goes. He's going to go, all right, get there. So what I was going to do is I'm going to get to about supply 9, and then I'm going to build that other pylon, which will make that number get bigger. So as you can see, he's going up here, and he's going to build it. So it's cool. So I've got that going, and hopefully what will happen is by the time this thing finishes building, I'll have another probe finishing up. So I won't get supply blocked, meaning that I can't actually get anything else out because I'm waiting on more supply through pylons. So you can see that actually went fairly well timed. It wasn't quite right. There's a couple of seconds there, but there we go. You know, it got finished, and I've got some more probes coming out. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scout, because in StarCraft it's pretty important to know what the other guys are building so you know how to counter it. So I'm going to grab one at about supply, well, I guess I'm going to get one at supply 13. It's probably a little late. Because if we jump over to the other guy who's playing Zerg, we can see that that's exactly what he's doing now with his Overlord. He's flying over there to try and scout me out to see how I am. And now I've got one of my probes going over there doing pretty much the same thing. One of the benefits of playing Zerg is you can really get that Overlord out early to try and scout, but they tend to be slow, so it's an advantage, but not a huge advantage. So I've got my probe coming along. He's going there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly how not to scout. You're going to see exactly what I do wrong here. So what my plan is to go down to the other guy's base, and he's just down here, and I'm going to try and figure out what he's got. Now, let's just have a look at what it's like from my perspective. So we've got my probe coming in. I've come in, coming down here. I'm looking at his base, going, all right, what's he got? He's got his hatchery, and he's got some drones there getting minerals, but that's it. Like, oh, okay. That's cool. So my thought is, well, the one game I did win it with Protoss is I cheesed him, meaning that I used a really lame tactic to try and get an early win. So what I'm going to do is build a couple of these pylons. And why do I build them here? Because one of the things that Protoss can do is they can warp in units around one of these things anywhere on the map. They can just get them in as long as you get the tech for it. But you got to be kind of fast to actually get up to that tech. To kind of pull this off. Now, just getting back to why I suck at scouting, we can see here it's looking pretty empty. I don't even see a spawning pool, which is what the Zerg needs to get out some of its early units, some of the Zerglings. But if we jump back to the view for everyone, you can see, oh dear, there we go. There's a spawning pool right there that I missed. Oh, and oh, by the way, there's a second hatchery up here. He's getting a second base. So, you know, I just had a complete fail scout. But, you know, I'm thinking that I'm doing pretty well. You know, I've got out one gateway. I put it up here so I can kind of narrow the choke point here. If any Zerglings come rushing through, hopefully I can kind of block them off. I've got out my cybernetics core, and this is the tech that I need. I need this building so I can get my cool warp technology. So he's coming along, and I get a forge, and forge that I can use just to do general upgrades to most of my units. But you can see here, I'm now about 5.5 minutes in the game, and I don't have a single unit to protect myself. I don't have a single zealot. Whereas if we jump over to the other guy, we can see he's got a healthy number of zerglings. There's just more coming. So I think we're almost at the 6-minute mark now, and still nothing. I've got all these minerals here, all these unspent minerals. I've got all this supply, and I'm just not using anything. So what I have done is I've put down a cannon. So hopefully that'll just help protect. It's a turret, it's a static defense that'll hopefully fight off any zerg as they're coming through. So finally, nope, I'm still not building any zealots. Oh god, come on. Look, it's 6.5 minutes. I haven't even started. I can afford like 5 of these guys right now. I should be pumping them out, but I'm not. Also, I've got a probe here that's doing nothing. This is just completely wasting income. I should have him over here, actually pulling the stuff off the mineral line. So you can see finally here I've decided, right, let's get a couple of zealots and let's just have them go right there so I can fight off any zergs. Unfortunately, you know, 2 zealots aren't going to do that much to stop that. And yeah, you know, he's getting a couple more units there, and you know, he's got plenty of these things. He's got plenty of the lava to pump out more. And if we jump back over here, we can see he's coming in. He's gonna just have an attack at my base. I've got 1 zealot, and they just run straight past. You know, they go through, they eat him up. They're gonna take down this thing really quickly. And about this point, I know the game's lost. I know that I've been way too slow. You know, this thing is probably gonna finish. I'm gonna get out another zealot, but it doesn't really matter. As you can see here, this became dark. That's because Protoss buildings require these nearby in order to be powered. If they get destroyed, the building stops functioning. Yeah, so the Zergs is coming through, and he's just polishing everything off. He's getting down into my probes, and this basically means it is just completely game over. He's destroyed my ability to make money. Yep, and he's just gonna polish me off. Here we go. Take down the... No, okay, no, he's sort of going back and forth. He probably should focus on one thing, because my mothership core is having a good job at kind of cleaning a lot of these up. You know, yeah, there wasn't much I could do here. I'm trying to pump out, but you know, actually looking at this now, I could have probably at least fought these guys off, because I've got a whole bunch of zealots about to come out of here. But even if I did fight them off, you can see there's still a bunch here. So yeah, that's my first place in this match. It didn't go so well, but you know, I'll have a go at doing the next one. Hopefully she goes a little bit better. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully you can learn a little from my fail. If you have any tips, please send them through, because as you can see, that I really need them. I'm really no good at this game, but I want to get better. So until next time, everyone, goodbye.